Alright, I want to talk to you a little bit about the hostas I'm growing and show these to you. Let's start over here, straight ahead. This hosta is a Cross Regal. This was a division off of a more mature plant last year, and it's done very well. I would say it's around doubled in size this season from what we had. So sometimes they'll really go into shock, and they'll stay the same for a year or two, or they'll even revert in size. Other times, if you take good care of them, they'll do really well, and they'll take off. So that's Cross Regal is somewhat sun tolerant, and it gets shaded some by this locust tree that's kind of above it, and it gets shaded from my other trees later in the day. So it still gets hit with a fair amount of morning and midday sun here. So that helps it grow, but it also can burn the leaves if it doesn't stay real well watered. This is Royal Standard out here. This is a very common hosta, pretty prolific. These were pretty small clumps when they went in last year. These two, I'm not even positive on what varieties these are. These went in a couple years ago just to fill some space here. They were very small plants, and they took off and filled in. Especially this year, going into their second year, they were really good growers. So that's Francie back there. I had bought that as a pretty good sized plant 2 years ago, and I split it up 6 ways, and now by this year, its second season, it's coming in real well and looking like real nice size plants here. Getting over here into this main bed, most of these were planted. Most everything you're looking at here in these smaller plants were planted within the last month or so, and the majority of these were started from 4-inch deep plant pots that are about 3 inches squared at the top. So some of these have really taken off already and have definitely increased in size. There are some obvious notable exceptions that were clumps that were divisions from a different source, and they were not in the pots, like these first 3 here. This one was different right here that we're looking at. That was an older plant. However, lots of these, even like this one that looks like a little bigger plant, that was from a small 4-inch pot, and it's just been growing for us already. Again, even here, this again, 4-inch pot, and it's been growing rapidly for us. So some of them you can see grow a lot faster than others. And let's see, let me just pick out some other good growers. You're going to, let me sneak in. I try not to walk in here a whole lot because I don't want to compact it down. I worked in a lot of materials, mulch and stuff into the soil to, keep that as light and loose as possible. This one's been here for a little bit longer. This is, let me just glance the tag, Prairie Dazzler, just to make sure I have the name right. And again, 4-inch pot, and it's putting on, a little bit more growth, and I can't see the tag from here, but there again, that was a 4-inch pot. It's definitely larger than when it started out in a 4-inch pot. That's a Marnie Gold Star right there, and that one again has put on significant new growth, about a month. That's Katie Q right behind it. Put on a little bit of growth, not a whole ton, but they're all doing well. This is Green Flash. Not a lot of growth, but it's a real interesting hosta, and hopefully that'll look real neat next year. Precious Metals back here, and that is another one that's definitely put on new growth since it's been in here. Over here, this, again, believe it, this is Creveza, or not, has been, this was from a 4-inch pot, and this was only in about a month. So that is very significant growth. And again, this, let's see, is a 4-inch pot, Boogie and Bokal. and that's a very significant amount of growth on that one too. So I was just kind of doing this to show you some of the variability in growth rate on these hostas. You see some dead leaves or some burnt leaves on some of these. I had some of these in different locations and had to move them into deeper shade. I normally cut those off, but if a plant really is down to just its last few leaves, I am more likely to leave those on there because it does have to have some leaves to photosynthesize. So I usually leave those on there until it starts, pushing up at least another couple leaves if it's down to its, last couple leaves. Let's see here. These were larger ones. That was a 4-inch pot, and these were planted pretty recently. Chesapeake Bay, there was a 4-inch pot, and these were all larger divisions up, up in here. So, again, this was a division. This was a division, and then most everything else you see in the middle here was from 4-inch pots. And let me glance over here and just show a couple things. These have been in about 2 months. In the center here is stained glass, and that was from 1-inch liners planted directly into the ground. And that one went in a little bit later, but it's probably at about, it's probably been in about 6 weeks now. And so those have obviously really taken hold, definitely growing. They took some sunburn initially. I've pulled off a number of leaves, and they seem to be getting a little bit more tolerant now. This is Christmas tree going out. These were in 3-quart containers, nice and full to start with, and they've definitely grown out here. They've really been pretty tolerant of the sun exposure. We have a few leaves that have gotten a little burning on them, but not too terribly bad. Overall it's done real well for a green leaf hosta like that. Then out here we have August Moon and Fire and Ice, and I thought August Moon was going to do better than this actually, and it really has taken a beating even with a good watering. I keep these things really well watered, and most of the August Moon is still taking quite a beating, so I'm hoping that that's going to come in next year and be a little bit more adjusted to it. Plus we'll have some more shade. We have some pretty fast growing trees here. Fire and Ice did pretty well. We have a few leaves here and there that didn't take it very well, but most of it did. With all these, I'll mention kind of the obvious that the majority of these are going to be growing to the point where they're too close within a season or two, and so if you're looking to plant something and you want to leave it for a while and not worry about it, you need much wider spacing than this. I'm more interested in growing these larger, cultivating them so that they can then be planted elsewhere or pulled out and sold. So this is a pretty good dappled light, partially shaded area. It gets morning light. So there's a pretty optimal area for me to be growing in, and I'm on a city lot, so I don't have a whole ton of choices as to where I can put hostas. I can put I have more room in the backyard, but I'm heavier shade there, so I'm not going to get as good a growth there. So that's why I chose to build this bed up in here.